It's the opportunity at cornerback as Tyson Campbell will miss some time. Logs.
I think it will be a mix of guys. I think it'll be Monteric Brown. I think it'll be Jarian Jones. Wouldn't be surprised to see even DeAndre Prince to be able to get some snaps. So very unfortunate, though. I mean, and here's the crazy thing. I don't know the exact details of the injury, but, he had that injury last year that he had lost 6 games. 6 games. And if this is another significant injury to that same hamstring, I mean, you just gave him a very large contract with a lot of guaranteed money.
Right.
And kind of makes you go, and again, I'm speculating. I don't know if it is or not, but, I mean, if it is, it's definitely something to keep an eye on.
You think over the years, like you go back, Isaac Bruce had hamstring issues. And then I think it was Bob Kersey, right? Jackie Joyner Kersey's husband back in the day that worked with him and showed him how to train and stretch properly and got him past that, and he never really went back to that. Christian Watson with the Green Bay Packers in his first couple of years, he's had these issues pop up, and he went through like some deep dive into the physiology and the training, how to avoid hamstring injuries. Don't know. It's only been 1 game, but
right,
man, you hate to see that. Like you said, this is the guy you're counting on to be your lockdown guy.
Yeah, and it's and obviously when you're in a 90-degree game and you're not quite in game condition, which goes for everybody. That's not a criticism of how the Jaguars trained leading up to the game or anything of that nature. It's just the way it is. And all of a sudden now you're going from, the most you played in a game was probably 20-something snaps. Now you're looking at, in the 40s when I think is when it happened for him. And, as all total in that game, there were 71 snaps for the defense. And there was only one guy that played every snap, and that was Antonio Johnson. But you could see that Cisco was cramping up. And, when Tyson was covering, I believe it was I'm trying to remember the wide receiver. It was not Tyreek Hill.
Jalen Waddle.
I think it was Waddle, and when Waddle kind of altered his route a little bit at the top because he was trying to get a little get him to bite to the inside. When Waddle bent it to the outside, that's when Tyson went down. Unfortunate, but injuries happen. This team really has been very fortunate so far going into the season. That probably one of the healthiest they've ever been in franchise history. And so one injury, it looks like, is all it is so far. So you just kind of regroup and put the next guy in. That's why you have the onboarding process and play guys a ton in the preseason.
Right. I mean, you look at the next opponent up, the Cleveland Browns had neither their left nor right tackle play in week 1. So, some teams do have it worse. We hope they all have it worse, right? That's just the way it is. But I will say, based on the way that offense looked, if there were a game you could get by without Tyson Campbell in the upcoming weeks, Cleveland might be the one you pick, but we don't know how long that is. I mean, it could be Buffalo, it could be Houston, it could be on and on and on. It could be a long time.
2 good wide receivers. I watched the film of the Dallas Cowboys game, and I haven't watched Cleveland's defense yet, but, I mean, the problem for Cleveland's offense in that game was that Deshaun Watson was not very good, and and his offensive line was not very good. And so when you've got Amari Cooper and Jerry Jeudy, which are 2 very good wide receivers, I mean, it's kind of hard for them to do their thing when quarterback can't get the time or can't find them.
Oh, right. Look, I think the receivers are fine, but their passing game right now isn't good because Deshaun Watson is in such a state. And trust me, folks, we'll look back at the film from this weekend's game. But just since we're on this, you get the latest allegation against Deshaun Watson yesterday.
What?
Oh, you didn't hear this?
No, I did not.
Oh, yeah. This is worse than all the other ones.
Yeah. Is it?
Okay, this is like he is flat out accused of rape. I mean, flat out,
boy.
right? And like they call it sexual assault, which is a wide range of things. But if you read the details in the accusation, now it's a civil case.
Yeah.
It's not a criminal case, but it could end up potentially, if he gets in trouble with the league, he could get his entire contract voided, which I'm betting the Cleveland Browns are keeping their fingers crossed right now.
They would take it in a minute.
Right. On one hand, I want Deshaun Watson to have anything that can go wrong for him. But on the other hand, I don't want Cleveland bailed out either for giving away one of the dumb. But, I think that's the lesser of the evils.
Ignore it basically up to this point, and now he's a terrible quarterback on top of all the other stuff. They might be looking to get out.
I mean, bro, the accusation
it's not a good situation.
I haven't seen that. I'll have to check
awful.
It out. By the way, his performance in the game, first of all, Micah Parsons, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, oh my God.
What do you have, like 8 pressures, I think? Ended up with 1 sack.
And they line him up all over the
crazy
place.
thing, Mike, is that I like some of the stuff that PFF does, and I remember watching that film, and then started looking at some of the PFF grades of our guys and their guys, and of everybody around the league, and so I get to the edge rush, looking for Josh and how Trayvon did, and I'm looking for Micah Parsons to be right at the top because I just got done watching him just destroy the Cleveland Browns. I mean, just absolutely destroy them. And he wasn't even in the top 10 of the edge guys. I'm just like, okay, that means, so sometimes you just got to take the PFF stuff with a grain of salt because he's one of those dominant performances I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He'll get
they
there
couldn't
eventually.
stop him.
Yeah,
I mean, absolutely he will because he's always there at the top. But, I mean, it was just, it was one play after another they couldn't block him. And then it got to the point where Deshaun Watson's eyes, he never kept him up. He was literally dropping his eye. He'd get back to drop his back foot and his drop, and he'd start peeking, like going, where's 11? Where's 11? And he just completely out of sorts because Micah Parsons was just in his head from the very beginning part of that game.
Well, let's hope that Josh Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker have a similar kind of impact this week. And, those tackles, was it Jedrick Wills and Jack Conklin, I think, are the pair that they've got there?
Yep.
Take a week, guys,
get
take
right.
your time coming back.
Get right.
Hey, Mia here, and thanks so much for watching 1010XL Jaguars. For even more coverage of the Big Cats, be sure to subscribe to 1010XL Jaguars.